All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, somebody had asked a comment, or somebody had commented or asked a question, okay, on the comment board, and basically they were asking, for pointers, for remaining diligent with this word, all right, or staying in the spirit, okay, which I'm gonna answer to the best of my ability, okay, but that also made me think, all right, concerning how when when you're not because if you're a prophet, you're a teacher, you know, of course, the first thing the scriptures say, which I'm gonna get, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. It says, "For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat." So if you're a prophet, okay, first you need to be taught, because you're going to be a teacher. Okay, so you need to learn. You have to learn this word and go teach it. But then you have those that might not be prophets per se, okay, which we understand that. Okay, we understand that not everybody, okay, is a prophet. However, that is not an excuse, okay, to not know the scriptures or to not learn the scriptures. You know, you can't say, well, I'm not going to take learning the scriptures as seriously because I'm not going to be out there using it, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. If you, all right, call yourself basically believing in this truth, man, you got a duty to, to study, as the scriptures say, study to show thyself approved, okay? All right, you got to study to show yourself approved. That means you got to put in the work, man. Okay, yeah, you have to know this, you got to know these certain things, because remember, the scriptures is not just for the prophets just to study. Okay, this is also knowledge on how to live your life. All right, so if you might not be a prophet, but you don't know what's in the scriptures, how are you going to live your daily life? You know, you might be going off doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, but you wouldn't know because you're not reading. All right, so now going back to the question, I looked on the individual's page, and I'm assuming, okay, that the individual is new, okay, the brother, I'm assuming is the brother, all right, that the brother is new, and because you don't really have a lot of no videos actually, and so on and so forth. So I mean, my best advice is, depending on where you fit in, okay, just the first thing you gotta do is learn. Okay, the first thing you have to do is learn, study, okay, watch the videos, and don't just watch the videos, but watch the videos. And when we bring out these verses, these precepts, you take note of them. It's always good to have, a pen and paper next to you, take notes of the scriptures, all right, and then keep in mind how they're broken down, so you can go over them and say, okay, maybe we might tie in a certain precept to another precept to give the full explanation of it. You write that down, you study it, and you learn. Okay, so you continue to watch. These videos are like a classroom, like a virtual classroom. So you watch, okay, you listen to the message, of course, but you also listen to the precepts, okay, and you go and you study the precepts for yourself, okay. So in order to stay diligent in the spirit, it really starts in your mind, okay. It's in your mentality, all right. You have to be meditating, or constantly have spiritual things on your mind. It can help if you want to set up a schedule for yourself, however you want to do it, but you want to make sure you're reading, all right, that you're reading the scriptures, okay. If you are a prophet, if you're able to do videos, you do videos. If you're not somebody who does videos, you can still re-upload videos. You can, if you have a YouTube channel, okay, you can subscribe, you watch, and you re-upload videos, okay. And I'm not saying go and re-upload some from GMS, and then some from IUIC, and then some from ISUPK. No, okay. If you gonna learn from us, okay, if you're gonna learn from the elders and brothers from GMS, and you're gonna learn from us, then you post our videos on your channel, okay. Now what that does is, okay, you're not necessarily making the lessons, because you're still learning, but as you're still learning, you're spreading the word, because if I put up a video and you re-upload that video, now there's twice the chance that somebody's gonna come across it. So you're in a sense furthering the gospel, okay. So that's a way of also doing the works. If you wake up, when we wake up, okay, we personally, when I wake up, I think about, okay, what can I do a video on? How can I edify? How can I feed the sheep today? That's the first thing I do. You know, I try to at least, you know, get at least one video, all right, in the morning if I can. Okay, I try at least to, or stream or whatever the case may be. Okay, and then so I'll look on RT News. I'll look on different news sites. Okay, and see if there's any articles relating to prophecy that I could go into. You know, I'll daily reading as well. You know, if it's too much for you, you can read a chapter a day. You know, you read a chapter a day, and as you're reading it, you might come across a certain point in there that might prompt you to do a video. You know, but I try to do that, and then throughout the day, if the Spirit hits me with something else, boom, I bring it out. But I try to do a daily requirement, and I try to get it done in the morning, for me personally, because that works for me. Because there's a lot of distractions in the day. But in the morning, I don't really have anything on my plate just yet. Before I start with all the other stuff, I try to, get at least one done, whatever the case may be. Okay. But reading, okay, studying, watching videos, these are going to help you stay in the Spirit more. Because guess what? When you listen to the elders and brothers do videos, it's therapeutic to your spirit, whether you realize it or not. Okay. And the more you listen to it, you're able to stay in the Spirit more. If you're not listening, if you're not watching videos and you're going on a drought, you're going to fill yourself out of the Spirit more. Okay. But if you're staying in the Spirit, you're watching videos, hey, you might not have a topic, but based on what's being said in the video, oh yeah, that is a good point. You might want to add on to it. You might want to do a response to it. Okay. Then the precepts start coming to mind, and then boom, you put it together and you're able to do a video. So as where you didn't have a topic, nothing was coming to mind, but you watched the video based on what you heard. You're like, oh, I could do something on that. I could add on to that. There might be a specific precept that the person didn't bring out in the video, but you might think of. So you might, oh, let me actually bring this out, and then boom, there you have it. Now, if you're not somebody who can do videos, okay, then you get in where you fit in. Okay, find out what you can do. All right, what can I re-upload videos? Can I edit videos? Like, hey, the brother Manatazak Banyamyan, all right, he's great at doing editing videos, amongst other brothers as well. Okay, and then boom, you do that. So you find where you can excel at in the truth, okay, and still push this word, still push that spirit, exhort brothers, okay, which it's not difficult to do videos, okay. You just gotta learn. The first thing you gotta do is learn, okay. So hey, my best bet is, look, if you first starting out, you have to learn, okay. That's your priority. Learn, okay. Your first thing is to learn. Don't look at another brother. Don't compare. Oh damn, but look, damn, the way he brings it out, the way he breaks down the scriptures, the way he he goes deep and does all these things. Don't do that, because that's gonna mess you up. What it's gonna do to you is it's gonna cause you to want to jump. It's gonna cause you to want to jump the gun, jump steps, and lose your foundation. Your first thing when you come into this truth is building that foundation, getting rooted in this truth, and that first goes on by learning. You have to watch videos and listen. Okay, listen. Don't just sit there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for the newest video to come out." Brothers have done thousands and hundreds of videos, man. Old videos, you have a lot of edification in old videos as well, man. Hey, sometimes I look up, some of the breakdowns that the apostles had. Okay, that it might not be recent. It might be 2014, 2013, 2016. It might be an hour long, and it's just pure edification, man. Of course, they bring edification now, but a lot of the points that they bring now, they've already gone over. They've already brought it out. So really, they go over it now. Okay, but when you go back, you watch them old videos, man, you're gonna get a lot of meat, a lot of edification. That's where you get the hour-long videos, the hour 30-minute long videos. You sit down, in the beginning, it might look like, damn, that's a long video. But you start watching the video, man, you're like, oh, yeah. That's how you get built up, man. You listen, you do the research, man. You watch the different breakdowns, okay? And that's how you go, man. You progress from there. And as you follow that path, what you'll notice is the Lord will start revealing different videos to you, or different information to you that'll help you grow, but he'll give it to you in due time. Okay. But your best bet is to make sure that you want to cut out as much unnecessary worldly things as possible and replace that with things you can, prosper in this truth. The scriptures talk about wisdom cometh by way of leisure. Okay. That means your reading time. Okay. You want to actually read the scriptures, man. Guess what? read the actual scriptures, you know? Find whatever. If you want to read a book, read a chapter a day, you go ahead and do that. Okay? Now, let me see. Brother had posted something on here. Wake Up the Dead 144. Brother says, strive to do videos. Don't get comfortable with just re-uploading. If you are capable of teaching, then teach. Exactly. You know, if you are capable of teaching, hey, teach, man. You know, because Paul said, we should covet to prophesy. You know, the response should really be you being desirous to want to teach. But then, as you keep trying, you find out that the Spirit just ain't on you to do it. Then, you know, all right, cool. You find wherever else you can do. You know, but it shouldn't be, nah, I'm not a teacher. You know, like that's the first thing you want to say, nah, I'm not a teacher. Understanding that being a prophet is like the highest office. Okay? Prophets are above kings. Okay? Prophets are the voice of the Lord, man. Don't you want to be a voice of the Lord? But once again, it's not for everybody. But wherever you fit in, and hey, if you don't know where you fit in, pray. Just pray. Pray to the Lord, man. Okay? That's also a major thing. You got to pray. Pray for the spirit of diligence, and pray for the Lord to just keep you in the spirit, man. And I keep saying read because whenever you read, okay, it stays on through your mind. All right? It enters your conscious, and it also enters your subconscious mind. Okay? And you'll find yourself thinking about these things. Because if you read a lot, all right, or what you think about a lot, that's what you'll meditate on. That's how you'll start to behave. Okay? So when you read the scriptures a lot, that's the vibration that'll be on you. Okay? And that's what you want. You want to put on the mind of Yahushua. And Yahushua said, what? He comes in the volume of the book. Okay? So that's what you want to do. Watch as well as read. Okay? If you first coming in, and you know, you might have heard bits and pieces here about the scriptures, but you're not, you know, really fully sure about it, get to reading, man. You first got to get the stories down. You got to find out who are the characters, what is the story, what's going on here, who's this, who's that, you know, and as you're doing that, you'll get the breakdowns. Oh, why did this person do this? Why did the Most High say do this? You know? Because, yeah, there are stories in the scriptures, and there's also prophecy, there's history, there's all these different things. So there's a lot to learn, okay? But in order to find a direction and where to go, because sometimes, you know, brothers will say study, and I had this problem before. You know, you say, yeah, I want to study. You know I'm told to study, but what do I study? You know, I'm here. I got all these things here. I got the computer and everything. But I spent so long trying to find out what to study that I end up not doing anything, you know? And that might be a problem for you. So you got to find out, okay, do I first want to study the history? Is there a specific breakdown that I want to know? So now you start checking yourself. Okay, do I know the breakdown to the mark of the beast? Do you know it? If you do, then you try breaking it down, you know? You know how boxers, they do shadow boxing? Well, you could do shadow teaching. You could act as though you're teaching somebody, all right, what the mark of the beast is. Somebody who's never heard anything about the Bible before. If you can successfully teach this person what the mark of the beast is, then you fully understand it. Because the saying is, you don't fully understand something until you're able to teach it. Okay, then you move on to the next breakdown. You know, okay, somebody came at you at saying, no, the Messiah was white or this and that. How would you defend the gospel? You know, prophecy. Okay, World War III. Do you know how to explain to somebody that World War III is prophesied in the Bible? Okay, these are things, because when we go out there, we're conveying a message. But understand that you might not be a prophet going out to the highways and byways, but you might have somebody that you might come across in your everyday life. They might be inquiring. But if you don't learn, if you don't study the scriptures, because you're saying, well, I don't do videos and stuff, so why do I really need to know? Why do I need to put in the time to study? How are you going to edify that individual? You know, just because you don't do videos is not an excuse not to study. You have to study and learn these scriptures, man. And to keep it real, some of the questions that, you know, that brothers get, these are simple questions that if you study, okay, you'll be able to find it. You know, brothers been saying, look, use the search engine. You know, you're looking for a breakdown of Revelation, 9? Type that in, GMS Revelation 9. It'll pop up. You know, if you have a specific question, what about this, that, the virgin, type that in. You know? Yep. Wake Up the Dead 144. 1 Peter 2:2. It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. I low-key used to practice on my grandma Shit wasn't wise, but I was a lot younger than I am now. Hey, but hey, look, man. Certain family members, they done got. Hey, our mom, she, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause when you first come in, you know, you of course, you know, you go over it, but you wanna, you wanna practice, you wanna hone, see how it would be against somebody else. So you might ask certain questions. Hey, mom, did you know this was that? You know, she might be a little reluctant, but no, we gotta have the conversation, And then you go back and forth and you explain certain things, and it gets you sharp. Okay, it gets you sharper and sharper, man. Okay, but the point is learning. Learning is at the forefront, man. You want to constantly be learning, because you never know when you're gonna have to use what you've learned. Okay, but you also have to have the foundation. Okay, you have to have the foundation, man. You start off with the main important things, the structures. Okay, you're an Israelite, the name of the Lord, certain things like that. Okay, and being able to explain to somebody how and why they're an Israelite. Being able to explain Deuteronomy 28 with the curses and link it. That's another thing. You have to be able to link scriptures. Okay, look, man, you can know where scripture is. You can know what it means, but there's a difference between what's in your mind and what is said. You have to know how to articulate what is in your mind and make it make sense to whoever it is you're telling. They cannot read minds, okay? Whoever you're trying to teach or tell cannot read minds. So you have to be able to tell them in a proper way what is in your mind according to the scriptures so that they can understand it. And then you show them the verses. But that's also in what? Linking the scriptures, giving examples, explaining what you're talking about, okay? If you bring out a precept, okay, you read the precept, think about it. If you're reading the precept and there's certain characters in there and this person doesn't know who the characters are, you just say, oh, and Esau did this, and this person's a newcomer, you got to be able to explain. Because then they're like, okay, Esau did this, okay, but who the hell's Esau? Why is that significant? So you got to be able to explain that. And then you give an example, okay? The scriptures say what? Well, we're basically earning wages to put in a bag with holes. What does that mean? Okay, and how do you relate that to today? You have to know how to do that. Okay, well, when you break it down, you wonder why whenever you get paid, your money is gone. Now, tying that in and giving modern day examples, that'll click in the person. Oh, so now when they look at the precept and they see a bag with holes, they're not going to be picturing an actual bag and you go to the bank and withdraw your money and start throwing it into a bag with holes. They're going to understand what it means. The scriptures say what? You got to cause them to get the understanding. Okay, so now let's get this. Let's go from Hebrews 5:12. Actually, let's read it again. So it says, for when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again. So that's the first thing. You have to be taught again. You have to learn the truth about the scriptures. Okay, and that means studying, because we cannot tell you every nook and cranny of the scriptures through videos. We'll be here nonstop. So we'll give you the direction. We'll break certain things down to you, but it's up to you to go and reread it. Okay, and take what you heard and actually study it and know what it's talking about. You need to understand how we came to the conclusion of what this means. If you can see why we see what we see, it'll be easier for you to explain it. Okay, if we break down Revelation, this meaning that, and we give you our sources, you got to be able to go to those sources, study it, and say, oh, okay, I understand why they said in this verse, this means this. Okay, once you understand that, it's gonna be easy for you to explain it to somebody else, because you're not regurgitating, you're not just repeating what you heard. If you're just repeating what you heard, then that doesn't show understanding. Okay, so it says, Hebrews 5, it says, for when for the time ye ought to be teachers, before you teach, when you first come in, all right, ye have need that one teach you again. You need to be taught. Okay, it says, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. So you got to be patient, man. Okay, yes, it may look nice the way, a brother's able to call precepts here and break this down, and you're like, damn, how did you even know that means that? And they bring the precept and it makes sense. Yeah, it may look nice, but before you get there, it's a step, man. The apostles didn't get to the level they got to by just coming to the truth and just jumping over there. No, it's all through time and experience. They started off with milk and they grew. Okay, same thing with all of us brothers. All right, so when you first come in, you can't look at where a brother is now and say, well, I want to get there next week or overnight. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you first learn something, you got to give it time. You got to let it marinate in your mind. Okay, you got to keep going over it so it sticks in your mind. All right, and over time you'll start to see that your understanding will grow, you know, and you'll be more in the spirit. All right, but it also goes into what? Prayer, man. You have to pray. You have to pray. If you feel like you're out of the spirit, but you're doing the necessary things you got to do, then you have to pray, because it's demons. Okay. So it says, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Meaning you just came into the truth. You're a newborn. Okay. It says, verse 14, but strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use, that means what? Experience, have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And those are the people you want to learn from. Okay. Because they're the ones who can, okay, you know what? Hold off on that for now. Try to get this down first. Because it's all building blocks. What you learn here is going to help you explain or understand something there. We learn addition and subtraction and PEMDAS and you know, kindergarten and all that, you know, middle school, grade school and all of that, so that when we get to higher grade and we're dealing with, you know, algebra and, you know, trig and, you know, all of that, we're using what we learned with how to add and how to subtract and what our order of operations comes first. We're using that and applying it to more complicated formulas. Okay, but you first need to know the basic, the foundation, before you can build upon it. If you just jump and say, I want to learn calculus, well, if they give you a simple polynomial equation, how are you going to be able to do that? You're going to, oh, wait. So where do I start? It's okay, add these two numbers up. I got to add? What you mean? What's add? They're gonna look at you like, bro, what are you doing in this class? Okay? Anybody knows that before you can take calculus, you got to know some algebra. Okay? So that's how it is. If you just jump into the truth, and you just trying to jump to the head of things, and here it is, you know, somebody asks you to explain, you standing there like, they're gonna look at you like, so how the hell did you know C, but you didn't learn A and B? That means you don't know C, you just repeating what you heard. All right. So now let's go here to the book of 1 Peter the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. Now it says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if you do these things, ye shall never fall. So now the question is, how do I give diligence to make my calling and election sure? Well, like the scriptures say, we've been given measures of faith. We've been given different portions of the spirit, and we've all been given things that we're special at. Hey, you could be in this truth, you could be a prophet, but even in that, there's certain specifics, all right, that brothers get into. Certain brothers like the history, they're good at it. Certain brothers are good at the herbs. Certain brothers are good at giving you advice. Certain brothers are good at all these different things, man. Okay, so we don't all do this exact thing, because the hand doesn't do what the feet do, but it's all in the same body. So you have to find out, okay, which one interests me the most, like which one, you know, links with my spirit the most, and build on that. All right. So now from there, okay, we're gonna go to the book of Ephesians chapter 4 verse 4. Let's see what brothers got on here. This is Wake Up the Dead 144. It says, the Lord also blessed brothers with more talents than others. Yeah, that's true. Everybody has a different measure. Okay, we don't all have the same measure, the same portion, but that's why you're not to compare yourself. You're supposed to look at yourself. Okay, what have I been given? You know, examine yourself. What can I do? You know, what is it that I can do? Some brothers make garments. Some brothers make, you know, there's so much you can do that can contribute to this word. If you cannot be on the forefront, how can you support those that are on the forefront? You know? Okay. That's right. Wake Up the Dead 144. Wisdom of Solomon 7:7. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon the Most High, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. Okay, so you actually have to pray. You know what I'm saying? You got to pray for these things, man. Of course, the Lord knows what you need, but you got to ask for it. You know, you got to ask and understand that the Lord is pleased when you ask for things that are in his will. So he'll give it to you speedily, man. You ask for more wisdom now. Hey, look at King Solomon. You know, what did he pray for? And he prayed for knowledge and wisdom to judge, you know, Israel. And that pleased the Lord. Because King Solomon was thinking ahead. He wasn't thinking of just himself. He was thinking of how to fulfill his role to the best of his ability. So you need to pray. You pray to the Lord. Lord, I sincerely want to, do something, but what is it specifically that I am to do? How can I be of most service to you and to your sheep? Show me what it is that I can do. Reveal it and let me be able to be good at it. Let me do my best at it. All right. All right. This is Adam and Stone, Baltimore 2, Ecclesiasticus 19:24. He that hath small understanding and feareth the Most High is better than he that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. And ultimately, that's why you still gotta learn the scriptures, man. Okay, because hey, what's funny about that scripture? It says, "He that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High," and ultimately, that's because they don't really have true understanding. Because if you understand, then you're gonna know not to do that. Okay, but hey, there's certain people who you get demons on them. They get they get to the point where they know so many scriptures, they can call it at the tips of their fingers. It's light work, and then they start to get complacent. Damn, I've already learned enough. What else can I really learn? I'm just so used to it. That's when you start slacking. Okay, there's always something to learn, man. There's always a way to do more. Okay, you just have to find it out. All right. Oh, that's another thing. Hebrew. All right. You got to learn some of the Hebrew, man. Okay. You got to learn, and you got to learn the Hebrew characters, learn the Hebrew alphabet, so that when you go into the blue letter or when you go into wherever it is, you can read it and you can understand what you're reading. Because certain breakdowns, you need to know Hebrew to break it down. Okay. Because certain breakdowns lie in the word. Now, if you don't understand what the word is, for example, John 3:16, you gotta understand certain Greek words. You read John 3:16 and you try to break it down, and you say, well, it says, "For God so loved the world," but the world is not really the world. See, it's the world, but it's not the world, because it's like the world of Israel, because Israel's like their own world. Like, you see what I'm saying? They're gonna look at you like, so the world is not the world, but it is the world. So you gotta be able to break it down. Okay, well, why do I say that John 3:16 does not mean the whole entire world? Then you got to explain to them, well, originally, what language was it? You go into it was the Greek. And then you got to look at the Greek word there for world. And then you got to let them understand that in the Greek, there's about, well, that I know, 3 words that all translate to that one word in the English, which is world. But they all don't mean the same thing. See, in English, we only see world and we have one definition for it, mainly. Okay, and that's everything in existence. But when you break it down to them, you have cosmos, eon, and oikomene, okay, which all mean different things. Now, the word world you're thinking of is oikomene. But in John 3:16, that's not the word that's there. It's actually this, and this is what it means. Okay, I see what you're saying. But if you didn't study the words, you didn't study the Greek, you didn't study the Hebrew, you didn't study any of that, how are you gonna thoroughly break it down to them? This is why you have to study these things, man. And you got to be tough on yourself. As you're studying, if a question comes up, try to your best to answer it, because somebody else might have that question and they might ask you. Okay. So now Ephesians 4, verse 7, it says, "But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Hamashiach." It says, verse 8, "Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men." So the Lord gave us gifts. We all have spiritual gifts. Okay. Now it says, now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth, meaning he died. Okay. Now that doesn't mean hell. That means the grave. It says, "He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. He gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints." You hear that? For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry. Because in this truth, it requires knowing more than one way. The same way when you play basketball, you have a team of different players. You have point guards, small forward, power forward, centers, okay, shooting guards, and they all have to come together to form that team because everybody has their purpose. So in this truth, you have different avenues, all right, different things that brothers can do. And when we come together, we use that to perfect the saints, because we can give them what they need on this portion, but then also on this portion, you know, learning the Hebrew here, learning prayers here, you know, learning the breakdowns here, learning life lessons here, you know, learning the morals of the scriptures here, okay, learning the history of the scriptures here, learning the who, what, when, where, why, learning the wisdom of the scriptures, okay, what you should and what you shouldn't do, why you should do that and why you shouldn't do that. If you're in a situation like this, how can you apply the scriptures to your situation? Sometimes you got to use deductive reasoning. Okay, what do the scriptures say? And how can you apply that to your life? And then from merging the two, extract what you should do. Okay, but in order to get that, you have to study, man. You have to study, because when the time comes when we're not on YouTube anymore, and you haven't studied, and you don't know how to go, you're so scared to pick up the Bible and go and read it for yourself. You're so scared to do that. What are you going to do? Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. What wisdom and knowledge are you going to have to keep you stable? Is it going to, oh, I know this brother and I know that brother and I know his sister. That's not the wisdom and knowledge it's talking about. You actually have to know the content of the scriptures, man. Okay? Learning the scriptures, you can't use I'm not a prophet as an excuse not to learn the scriptures. That's just a given. You cannot use I'm not a prophet as an excuse to not learn the scriptures. Okay? Because when you in school and you can say, look, I'm not an art major or I'm not a math major, you still gonna take math. You still gonna learn it. You still gonna pass the class. So you can do it. You know, you're required. There's certain basics of the basic knowledge of the scriptures that you are required to know. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're not a teacher, whether you can re-upload videos or not, knowing what's in the scriptures, you have to do that. You have to study and you have to know it, man. Okay? It says, verse 12, Ephesians 4:12, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness in Hamashiach. Okay, so we're doing this all to build each other up. Okay, so hey, for the individual that asked the question on the comment board, like I gave you the pointers, man, you got to read the scriptures, you got to watch the videos, pray first and foremost, okay, and just, you know, go from there, man. If you can re-upload videos. It'll give you something to do to stay in this truth, but also learning balance, okay? That is an important thing. You have to learn balance, man. You cannot say, I'm going to sit here because I got to read scriptures. I'm going to sit here 24/7 and just put my face in the book and read. You know what you're going to do? You're going to wear yourself out, okay? You need to learn your balance. You need to find out what is your pace and go at that pace. Forget about what everybody else's pace is and go at your pace. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, I don't got to do shit because that's not my pace. My pace is half a video every week. No. Okay? You got to balance yourself and know, all right, how much to give. You got to give it your all, but understand that your all might not be the next brother's all. Okay? Now, that's number one. Number two, balance out your life, man. Okay? Find a hobby. Find a TV show you like to watch, video game, whatever you can do that is, you know, that's not wicked, of course, but you can balance it out, man. Because when you do videos and you study scriptures, man, you can't do that all day. You can't do that 24/7. You're going to get worn out. Okay. So you got to be able to balance it, man. You take a break and you know, find something to do, because if you take a break and you're idle, we know what the scriptures say about being idle. Okay, it's gonna it brings evil thoughts. It brings demons. So find something to do, a relief, because we still live in the flesh. You know, there's righteous, pleasurable activities that we could do. Okay, that's not wicked. So you could do that if you want to go to the park, whatever it is, man. To just, you know, as a form of recreation. Okay, is an outlet that you can use to balance things out, man. Okay. That's how you do it, man. That's a balance is also, hey, When the scriptures, matter of fact, let me get it. In Proverbs, about a false balance. That goes for everything. Okay? That goes for everything, man. If look, of course, you know, we know that we do our best to push harder, okay? But if the next brother's spirit of pushing harder is like, maybe he does 3 videos a day, now he does 5. If I usually do 1 video a day, I'm not gonna say shit, let me try to do 5 videos a day. No, I'm gonna look at what measure I've been given, and I'm gonna say, okay, if I do 1 video a day, you know, maybe I could try to do 2 videos a day. You know, I could do it. It's not that hard. You're not gonna drop dead. You know, some videos we're really just going into articles and explaining it and linking the article with the scriptures. But once again, if you don't know the scriptures, how can you link the article with it? You know, how can you tie the two in together? How can you show people that this article is important because it's relating to prophecy? You got to know the prophecies, you know? So at the end of the day, it all comes back to studying, okay? It all comes back to studying, man, and growing, you know, growing in this truth, man, gaining more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, okay? Find a specific area you want to study, okay? If you don't know where to start, then create a checklist of questions that you can ask yourself. Do I know what this means? Do I know what this means? Do I know what that means? If I don't, then that's where I'm going to start studying. And I'm going to keep studying it till I understand it, you know? So now this is Proverbs chapter 11. I'm going to see some of the precepts brothers put on the comment board. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So in everything you do, you have to have a just weight, okay? You have to have a balance. You have to balance it all out, man, okay? You cannot wear yourself out. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, so you need to pace yourself. Yes, you give it your all, but you pace yourself, okay? All right, Isaiah 55, that's the brother's name, Isaiah 55, or his YouTube handler's name. It says Matthew 25 and 15, and unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So we've all been given a different measure, but you still have a measure. You have something. Everybody has something, okay? And if you don't know what it is, pray, find out, and then keep going. And if you don't know what it is, that doesn't mean sit on your ass and wait for what the Lord give you a dream that says, hey, brother, what I put in your spirit when I created you was this, and that. You know, try it sometime. It'll work out. No, you don't just sit on your ass. Start trying things. You know, try teaching. Try doing this. Try doing that. Try, you know, editing videos. Try doing this. You'll find something. You'll find where you fit in. Okay, if you open this door, oh, no, not for me. Okay, you close it. Oh, is this door for me? Let me try the next door. Oh, yeah, that's definitely for me. You go into that door. If you're just sitting here, you're not opening any doors, how you going to find out which one is for you? All right, you have to find your lot. Wake Up the Dead, 144, Ecclesiasticus 1 and 14. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. All right, beautiful. Bavmo, what's this, Ephesians 4 and 4? Let me just confirm, make sure. Yep, Ephesians 4 and 4. There was one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. And exactly, yes, it may be one body, but a body has different body parts. Okay, like we're not all the whole body, but we're different bricks. We're different parts of the body. And we come together to make the body function. Okay. Wake Up the Dead, 144, Proverbs 4 and 5. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. All right. Neither decline from the words of thy mouth, from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Okay. Verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. See, some of these questions, when you start gaining wisdom, you'll know how to operate. You know, you'll know how to spiritually discern certain things. Some questions you might have in your mind, you'll be able to filter it through the scriptures and have an answer and know all right, what is good judgment? You know, what should I do? You know, and in turn, if somebody asks me what to do, I would know how to answer them. You know, I'll know how to give them advice. Okay. So yeah, that's a bad precept right there, man. Get wisdom and get understanding and forget it not. How do you forget it not? By constantly going over it, man. If you stop going over these scriptures, you're not gonna be as sharp with them, man. It's the same thing with everything, man. If you stop, like for example, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson trying to get back in the game, right? Why do you think Mike Tyson had to train so hard in order to get back? Because he stopped doing it for a while, so he got he got weak with it. You gotta constantly be on it, man. Constantly be using that sword, and you're gonna stay sharp. Okay, you get sharp, but you gotta stay sharp. So you learn how to get in the spirit. Now you gotta stay in the spirit. Okay. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Okay, I'm gonna read this last part again. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. Okay, so that's ultimately what it is, man. First thing first, learn. Okay, study, and that's how you stay in the spirit more and more, man. You gotta learn, you gotta study, you gotta read. Okay, you gotta watch videos. If you have certain questions that you've tried to look for videos on, you try to get answers on, and you couldn't, then you ask them. Okay, but hey, prayer is also a key thing that you could use, man. Okay, before you understand anything, you gotta pray to the Heavenly Father. You know, so Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so with that, I hope it was edified. I know I was a little all over the place, but hopefully I said certain things that you could use, extract, and use to your benefit. Okay, but with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.